We are so excited you joined us today. Welcome to worship.
Join us in a worship song.
I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart. I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart to stay. And I'm so happy, so very happy. I've got the love of Jesus in my heart, down in my heart. And I'm so happy, so very happy. I've got the love of Jesus in my heart. What else you got? I've got the peace that passes understanding down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart. I've got the peace that passes understanding down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart to stay. And I'm so happy, so very happy. I've got the love of Jesus in my heart, down in my heart. And I'm so happy, so very happy. I've got the love of Jesus in my heart. I've got the wonderful love of my blessed Redeemer way down in the depths of my heart. Where? Down in the depths of my heart. Where? Down in the depths of my heart. I've got the wonderful love of my blessed Redeemer way down in the depths of my heart. Where? Down in the depths of my heart to stay. And I'm so happy, so very happy. I've got the love of Jesus in my heart, down in my heart. And I'm so happy, so very happy. I've got the love of Jesus in my heart. I've got the love of Jesus in my heart. I've got the love of Jesus in my heart.
First Corinthians 16:13. Be on your guard. Stand firm in the faith. Be courageous. Be strong.
Let's find out what today's big idea is.
Welcome back to Breaking News Studios. I have a fun challenge for you today. It seems on the news everyone has a really good news anchor name. We're going to create your own news anchor name today. This can be your undercover reporter name, okay? You need to come up with a fake name by choosing another name that starts with the same letter as your name. For example, my first name is Emily, so I could be Elizabeth instead. Rearrange the letters in your last name to make a new last name. So if your last name is Lee, you could be Eel. My last name's a little hard, Hendoness. I'll have to think about that one. Today, you become official news anchors with your special undercover reporter name. Today's big idea is that when times are tough, I can count on God. Zephaniah was calling for people to be different from everyone else by doing what God wanted them to do, instead of what they wanted to do. There are other places in the Bible that talk about being different from the crowd too. Let's take a look at 1 Thessalonians 5:1-11. It says, "Now brothers, about time and dates we do not need to write to you. As for you know very well that the day of the Lord will come, like a thief in the night. While people are saying peace and safety, destruction will come on them suddenly, as labor pains. But you, brothers, are not in darkness, so that this day should surprise you like a thief. You are all sons of light and sons of the day. We do not belong to the night or to the darkness. So then, let us not be like others who are asleep, but let us be alert and self-controlled. For those who sleep, sleep at night. But when we belong to the day, let us to be self-controlled, putting on faith and love as a breastplate, and the hope of salvation as a helmet. For God did not appoint us to suffer wrath, but to receive salvation through our Lord Jesus Christ. He died for us so that, whether we are awake or asleep, we may live together with him. Therefore, encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing. Let's look at verse 6 again. It says, "So then let us not be like others." Let us not be like others. How do you think followers of God stand out from the crowd? Followers of God do the very things we've been talking about this month. They worship God with their actions in church and outside of church. They choose to do what is right, even when it's hard. And they know that even if they make a mistake, they can still count on God to love them and take care of them when things are difficult.
Let's see what our friends on Grow TV have to say.
Oh, hey there, little chicken nuggets. It's me, Carl. Sorry I'm late. My raccoon got out this morning. I'll start in a second. I just need to check the local news. I only check it once a year, and today's the day. So let's see what's been happening for the past 365 days. What? No. No! No!
Welcome to Grow TV! Hosted by Carl, where we have fun with our friends, talk about Jesus, and go over everything the Bible has to offer. Now once again, welcome to Grow TV!
Oh man, oh man, oh man, this isn't good. There's so much bad stuff happening all over the world. It just makes me sad. No, I'm not gonna let this make me sad. I'm not. No! What's the use? Oh man. Oh! Okay, Carl, pull yourself together. How do we fight sadness? Let's look it up. Chocolate? Can't do that. Roller coasters? Afraid of heights. Holding puppies? I'm allergic to cuteness. Happiness! The cure to sadness is happiness. So how do I become happy? Well, if sad news makes me sad, then happy news should make me happy. Boom! Let's search for the happiest stories in news history. Alrighty, looks like this story comes from California, the Rocky Mountain State. Apparently there's a bear who was enormously fluffy, and he was very hungry. So hungry that he climbed into a big dumpster, ate so much, that he got stuck. Then some people called animal control and saved the bear. They were super nice, and the bear got out safe. No one was hurt. That's a good story. Look how fluffy he is. I just want to hug him, but I can't, because the bear would probably eat me. Story number 2. This story is about a man who finds a hurt hummingbird outside. Aw, don't cry, Carl. He apparently helped this bird and nursed it back to health. One day the bird became strong enough and the man released it back into the wild. Great, now they'll never see each other again. Wait a second, it says that the bird named Buzz comes back to his house once a year. He even lands back in his hands and loves being petted. Oh man, that's such a good story. I sure am feeling better now.
Hey, Carl.
Bear! Oh, hey. Hey, Cassie.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting you.
Oh, sorry. How are you?
Not bad. I guess I was just kind of bummed out.
Really? Why?
Well, I looked at the news today.
Oh, got it. Yeah, that's not always the best idea.
You're telling me. Now I'm in a weird funk.
That's not good. Do you want to talk about the story this week?
Sure.
All right, let's take a look at Zephaniah.
Zephaniah?
Zephaniah.
Zepha papaya?
Zeph.
Zeph.
Naya.
Naya.
Zephaniah.
Zephantapis bahapo.
Anyways, Zephaniah was a prophet and God spoke to him all the time.
That's so cool.
It sure is. Now at this time, the people of Judah weren't listening to God.
Well, that's not good. What were they doing?
They were not following God. Instead, they were actually making idols and worshiping them instead.
Oh no. Haven't they learned their lesson by now? Kids, don't make idols. Also, don't make mud pies and eat them, no matter how good they look.
Yeah. So God told Zephaniah a very special message. A message that told them that God was going to destroy the land. You see, the people were worshiping the sun, the stars, and other fake idols like an idol named Molech. They had forgotten about God and chosen not to follow the commandments that were given to them.
Man, so God was going to destroy the land and everyone in it?
Well, not completely. You see, there were still a few people who loved God with all their hearts and souls. And because of that, they would not be part of that punishment.
That's a relief. God does not mess around when it comes to idols. But that's because the people were shown so many times that God is the one true God who loved them even in the tough times.
You couldn't be more right, Carl. As long as we turn our eyes to God and love those around us, we know we're doing what's right.
So all I have to do is look in the direction of heaven?
It's kind of the first step. When things are tough, think of God, ask God for help, and read the Bible for extra strength. There are a ton of things you can do.
Phew! Glad I don't have to rely on these eyeballs to find God. I'm a little nearsighted, or farsighted. I can't remember which sided I am. But that felt like a lot of pressure.
Yep, when you spend time with God, it helps you trust. And when times get tough, that trust will help you get through it.
And we could trust God to give us the strength to endure those tough times.
Yeah, I love knowing that when times are tough, I can trust God.
Cassie? Wait just a second. You did it.
Did what?
You just said our big idea! Today's big idea is, when times are tough, I can trust God.
So let's say it out loud on the count of 3, okay? 1,
2, 3. When times are tough, I can trust God. Yes, I can. And so can Cass. So can you. Trust God. Yes. Well, I'm glad you stopped by today, Cassie. I just hate getting so emotional. No more crying for me. Until next year, News.
No way!
What?
Did you see this photo of a chimpanzee in a diaper holding a baby kitten?
Oh my, that's so cute. Oh, that's so cute.
All right, kids, I'll see you next week.
That's adorable.
Thank you for watching, and tune in next week for a new episode of Row TV.
Welcome back to Breaking News with Emily Emerson. Today, we're interviewing a prophet named Zephaniah. Zephaniah was a Hebrew prophet who lived in a place called Judah. At that time, the people were paying more attention to or worshiping idols and not God. The king at that time, King Josiah, tried very hard to get the people to stop worshiping idols and turn to God. Do you know what an idol is? An idol is anything we treat more important than God. Let's turn to our prophet Zephaniah, who has some breaking news from God. Hi there, Zephaniah. I'm Emily Emerson. I hear you are eager to share some breaking news from God. So, Zephaniah, what has God told you to share with us?
And thanks for having me. God has sent me to tell everyone this. Everyone get ready. The day of the Lord approaches.
That day of the Lord? Isn't that every Sunday? What's different about this day of the Lord?
It is very different. I am talking about some difficult times that are up ahead for my people. And on this day, not so great things await for people who just sit back and enjoy all the things they have without listening to God. People like this, who have been selfish their whole lives, will soon learn what it is like to have to work for others. They have been given many chances to obey God, and in those final days, when God comes, they will be all out of their chances, and their money won't be able to save them.
That sounds terrible, but God is so good. Isn't there any good news?
Affirmative! The day of the Lord is not here yet, so guess what? We have time. We don't have to worry about any of these awful things happening to us when we have a relationship with God. God is just waiting to welcome us with His love. And get this, God will actually rejoice with us over our singing. God sings.
That's one concert I don't want to miss. Thank you, Zephaniah, for that message from God. I'm sure all of our viewers know what to do now to get ready for the day of the Lord. Until next time, this is Emily Emerson signing off. This sounds a lot like the breaking news from the stories we've heard before. God uses a prophet to warn everybody about what could happen because of their actions. Zephaniah urged people to turn to God before destruction came. But even when we lose our way or face some difficult times, God doesn't go anywhere. God patiently waits for us to turn to Him, then welcomes us with love and rejoicing. My volunteer that I'm going to hold this water over is placing trust in me that I won't spill it on her head. So let's find out just how trustful she really is. Okay, so how I do this is I have a cup of water that's filled about a little bit over halfway and a playing card. The playing card has to fit over the rim of the cup. You place it over with your hand, tip it upside down, and place it over the head. It's not coming out, folks.
Hey there, St. Tim's kids. Great to be back with you again. We're here to do a craft with you today. It's still continuing on the good news about what the prophets had shared about God. And one of those key messages was that God is faithful. We can always count on God. When he makes a promise to us, we know he can keep it. And we all have made promises, I'm sure. Sometimes maybe we break those promises. So I think there's a term some people use when they're really serious about making a promise. They call it a pinky promise. I think you do it something like this. Now that means you're really serious. Well, God, you don't have to worry about. He is always serious. He's always faithful. He's there for us all the time. Good times, bad times. So today we're going to do a little craft that you can look in the kit that Miss Emily gave you. You should find some pipe cleaners, maybe a few different colors. And you're going to want to cut them in half with scissors. They cut really easily. And we're going to show you a craft here in a minute where we're going to make pinky rings. And the process is going to be simple. We're going to end up twisting these together, and the colors will intertwine, and then we're going to wrap them around our pinky, and we're going to have ourselves a little reminder. Now, you might ask yourself, why are there two colors? Why are each of these going to have two colors? Well, the key is, first, one of those colors represents God. And God, who keeps his promises, he's faithful to us. He is there all the time. So God keeps his promises. And the second one is us. We want to be able to keep our promises too. We want to be faithful to God. We want to keep our promises to each other. Whenever we make a promise to somebody, we want to be able to keep it. So putting these two together will be a little reminder to us that God is faithful. We need to keep our promises and remember that he's there for us all the time.
Dear God, please help us to remember your message through the prophet Zephaniah. Help us to trust you no matter what is happening around us. Help us also to remember that when times are tough, we can count on you. Amen. And now, let's go to Buddy Butterson for today's weather report. Buddy, to you. Great. Thank you, Buddy Butterson.